I'll be there when you're down, when you're losing your crown, till the afterglow, the afterglow. Look so great when you gotta shine. One more part of you is gone now, as you keep smiling at the crowd. Pressure is your best enemy. Spotlights show what they wanna see. Sometimes it feels like you're under attack. You just can't break free. I'll be there when you're down, when you're losing your crown, till the afterglow, the afterglow. I'll be there when you fall, when you're losing it all. It all sounded like a dream. Remember how you kept on laughing. Now you're trapped in your own skin. The anxiety growing.
Ladies and gentlemen, it is Friday night. It is time for your Smackdown Security Detail. Right now, we are looking in the ring at the Crown Jewel Championship. I'm not sure if that's the women's or the men's. Oh, well, thank you, Nia Jax. Nia Jax just answered that question for me. It is, of course, the women's, as Nia Jax is making her way to the ring right now. She is scheduled to have a face-to-face with the women's world champion, that, of course, being Liv Morgan. At 1 o'clock Eastern tomorrow afternoon, the Crown Jewel pay-per-view. There will not be a PLE patrol for that event. All right, so we had both women in the women's Crown Jewel Championship match come out and just basically lay their claim as to why they should be the women's Crown Jewel champion. Then we had Tiffy come out and announce that she will be cashing in her Money in the Bank contract. Okay, if you will. Never mind. I was going to say if you'll excuse me because I thought Charlie was doing something. So I'm also watching my local hockey team, the Sioux Greyhounds, take on one of their biggest rivalries in the London Knights right now. And there's a goal that's being challenged right now. We got Bro coming in saying, "What's up? How's it going, Bro? Glad to have you on the show here tonight." Right now in that ring, though, we got Tiffy taking on Liv Morgan. This is a match I'm pretty sure if Carl was watching, he'd be all over it. Oh, that was awesome. Still to come tonight, Street Profits are going to be taking on Pretty Deadly. Should be an interesting tag match. We also have tag team women's action. Candice LeRae and Indi Hartwell, who will be in her final SmackDown match as they take on Bayley and Naomi. Also, fatal four-way action. Bianca Belair, IYO Sky, Lash Legend, and Piper Niven as Liv Morgan just pulled out the win over Tiffy. Oh, and now Nia. So Liv just attacked Tiffy after the match. She then attempted to attack Nia, but now Nia is just beating the snot out of everyone. And now Nia's looking to hit the Annihilator, and she does. No, we're taking a look at last Friday when Randy Orton demanded to have the match tomorrow night or tomorrow afternoon with Kevin Owens at Crown Jewel. In one of my favorite promos from the last week, actually, between these two men. Randy Orton, of course, calling out Triple H to get the match. Now let's take a look at what Kevin Owens has to say. All right, so Kevin Owens basically saying he didn't want to have this match. He doesn't want to do what he's doing. And we got Pete coming in saying, "Hey, buddy. Hey, Pete, how's it going?" Saw you were streaming earlier, but I guess I must have missed out or something. But I'm glad to have you here, as right now the Street Profits make their way to the ring for their tag match against Pretty Deadly. I can't remember if it's this weekend or next weekend. Honestly, I've lost track of when our clocks go back because, well, all of my clocks are digital, so they automatically go back. So I don't think I would really notice if they did or not. I'm enjoying myself a cranberry ginger ale tonight. Yeah, it is a nice drink. It's easily now my most favorite. Excuse me. It's easily now my most favorite ginger ale drink, and it's only available limited for a limited time every year. Mm. But it's only just me and possible running from Chris Parrish tonight. OMD has got some prior engagements that he's taken care of. So I'm flipping back and forth right now between SmackDown and my local hockey team playing on TV tonight. And we've got, I see Pretty Deadly now making their way to the ring right now. They've got these playbills for Pretty Deadly the musical. Interesting. And of course, they're handing one off to famous playwright Lin-Manuel Miranda. And of course, Pretty Deadly starting off early with the attack there on the Street Profits. There's Elton Princess just stomping away over on Montez Ford. Montez trying to get the tag to Angelo Dawkins, but Elton Prince flipping him back to the corner now. Now they're trying to block off. Okay, that was a pretty interesting way to do a hot tag as Angelo Dawkins right now in there taking out both Kit Wilson and Elton Prince right now. Angelo Dawkins looking very, very dominant here. And we got ourselves a run-in. How's it going, Mr. Parrish?
Not too bad. How are you?
Oh, not too bad, not too bad. Enjoying some tag team action right now as the Street Profits are taking on Pretty Deadly right now. There's actually a lot of tag team action tonight.
Yeah, that's what I hear. Well, actually, we know this. We know this is a pre-taped Smackdown that happened last week. But
yeah, and we're gonna see the last match for one of those wrestlers tonight.
Yep. For people that don't know, Angelo Dawkins is a new daddy.
Oh, I didn't know about Dawkins, but I was referring to Indi Hartwell. She was released today.
Yeah, I know. From what I understand, there's more to that than care to admit. I will talk about that on Sunday.
Mm-hmm.
And hello, Pete. How are you?
Baron Corbin is also gone, and there was a third one. I can't remember.
Yeah, definitely multiple. I can get that information pretty quickly, provided that. Now, I'm not surprised, but it does. Tegan Knox was the other one.
Oh, right.
I mean, as much as nobody wants to see anybody get released, nobody wants to see people. We also don't know right away if this was a mutual parting, if this was one-sided. But what we do know is that we wish them the best in what they choose to do next, and what we do know is that they get to keep their names if they want to.
Yep, and on Baron's side, I know that was a mutual. He chose not to renew his contract.
Yep.
As I'm also watching not just SmackDown, but I'm watching my Greyhounds lose to the London Knights right now.
Maybe you should stick to SmackDown and then you will be less upset.
Yeah. Pete, I liked Baron too, actually, and I kind of liked what they were trying to do with him and Apollo Crews.
I'm not going to lie. I'm curious to see what the next move is for Apollo Crews, because this definitely puts him in limbo. But if you ask what I would do with him, I would have him be the heater for Carmelo Hayes.
Yep, that makes that. Yeah, I would 100% go with that. And let's face it, we already know what Candice LeRae is going to do. They're just going to continue with her and Nia.
Potentially, as we saw in the promo, too. There's also Naomi and Nia. There's a lot of different avenues they could go to. And, now, it's going to be interesting to see kind of what the reasons were for all three. If it was just our contracts not being renewed for all three, if there's more to it. Obviously, it's too early to kind of say this is just typical WWE, whatever. No, we haven't really seen any of that stuff since Triple H has taken over. We've seen more amicable parting of ways. We've seen a lot of things. You have to also realize that there's just a really heavy amount of talent on the roster right now. So this might be best for them. Like, imagine Tegan Knox going to TNA and getting put into that crop of female talent, especially now that Jordan Grace might be coming out. There could be a spot there for her. So there's a lot to unravel with Baron Corbin. He does a lot of stuff outside of pro wrestling as well. So it'll be very interesting to see what he does next. And then also for Indi Hartwell, again, TNA, like, very well could be of really getting two amazing women talents.
Yeah, I think TNA honestly is the best fit for both Tegan and Indi. And I'm not knocking AEW in any way, but I feel like if the both of them went to AEW, they'd get lost in the shuffle after so long, you know.
And this really depends on the future too, because I mean with Tegan, she does battle a lot of injuries. I wonder if health definitely is something to take in consideration here. Also, let's not take away from the possibility this could just be people wanting to go somewhere else, work on their stock, and come back later, as we've seen that be a recipe for many people. Drew McIntyre, Cody Rhodes, just to name a few, even Punk. Like, you may have to say
Bobby
CM
Lashley's
Punk.
also an example of that too.
Yeah, and like there's just so many, right? Like even who's Naomi, right?
Yep.
Just talked about her, and she's on our screens right now. The irony is right there.
But yeah, I do agree with as far as where Baron, Tegan, and Indi can go. The WWE really isn't the be all end all anymore. There's multiple other promotions you can go to and own your craft in now.
Let's just face it. Did you foresee any three of these talents really doing a lot on television for any brand right away?
No, but I gotta say I've been happy to see Indi on my screen since this whole Candice LeRae, Nia Jax thing started.
Sure, but
in the end, I don't see her making I never saw her making a giant splash in the WWE. You know,
there's just a lot of things to unravel, especially with the fact that like she was there. Was she wrestling a lot? No. Was she a featured? Was she a featured talent on the show? No, she was very much just in the background with Candice LeRae, who, ironically enough, is now on our screen with Indi Hartwell. So with her last appearance, but it's just going to be one of those things. As we all know, Candice LeRae is the inaugural speed champion for the women, so she's going to be doing a lot of things more on her own. Potentially could be seeing new pairings if they were to do that, but I think too they want to see what they can do with Candice LeRae on their own, I'm sure.
Yeah. And it's going to be interesting to see where Indi winds up and how she actually does on her own as well, you know?
Yeah, and that's if she does continue into wrestling. Now, for a lot of people too, especially when like they don't get any younger when they go into wrestling, so the wanting to, do more within just personal goals, whether you have ambitions outside of wrestling, whether or not you want to start a family. I mean, those are all things that, you got to take into consideration. Might not be the actual reason, but at the end of the day, like, allow them to have an opportunity to explain themselves, but also don't hold that against the company as well, because obviously the company has to look out for the company and the individual needs to look out for the individual. Sometimes that works together, sometimes it just doesn't.
Keep coming and saying, do you think Indi will wrestle on the Indies?
Maybe she'll work at the Hartwell dungeon. I'll match you.
You guys are both here all night. So you can't hear my TV, eh? Because I have it up a little bit, but not too loud. At least on my end.
I can hear a little bit, but not when you speak, not really.
Yeah. because I have it up just enough where I can hear the commentary and all that.
Yeah.
But
see, that's the thing. Like, at least if your TV's on and you're talking and your sound overrides the television. When we're on Mondays, there's other people that have their TV on, so they just don't say anything. So that's all we hear.
yeah. And that one man is not here tonight, so he's not dynamic.
But he's only one man. Also, we just want to let everybody know that if you're on any of the Turnbuckle Studios Facebook, YouTube, or the Bubba OMD YouTube, make sure that you're giving a like and a follow to all those platforms. If you're on the Facebook, leave that emotion letting us know. And if you feel the need to, share the event on your feed, allowing us to spread the word that Turnbuckle Studios is live on Facebook. If you're on the YouTube, make sure you're hitting that thumbs up button. And then you also comment, because the importance of commenting or just doing a lot of that is what they call engagement, and that helps the channel just as much too.
Yeah.
What I like is when you don't say anything and I can hear your TV, it gives the audio to my phone that doesn't have any audio on, so it all mashes up.
So you heard it all coming back.
What did I just say? When you're silent, you'd hear it.
Yep.
And then you followed that up with silence. So, well played.
I was trying to check out which football games I can watch this weekend. Because the Bengals are not on TV this weekend. Or at least in my neighborhood.
Well, not on the cable.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Not on the cable.
Yeah, not on the cable. But what we are getting here right now is a pretty entertaining tag team match.
Yeah, unfortunately, we won't see a rematch anytime soon.
Nope.
That's the unfortunate part of pre-tape shows. There are moments that happen. Bayley, I wish you aren't doing what you're doing right now. Now the beauty is there's a lot of the stuff I don't know what happened because, well, I just stayed away from it.
Yeah, I don't know how I did it too, but I was able to avoid all of the spoilers as well.
Well, I thought it was very easy. I just didn't look at them.
Same here, and mine was more so like, especially for Tuesday when I was looking for the wrestling news for Turnbuckle Talk. I looked up specific wrestling news to find,
Well, now for Turnbuckle Talk, you can definitely talk about releases.
Yep. Because by Tuesday we'll have more information on the releases that happened.
Yeah, I mean, I'm assuming we're going to have a lot more information just as the weekend progresses as well. And then even by Monday when you see the Raw Patrol.
Monday nights, 8 p.m. Eastern.
Yeah, but we'll get to that later.
Yeah, we will. But now with Indi's release, I am definitely curious to see.
Yes.
I'm sorry, I was getting distracted by Jessica Carr making the call she just made. But I'm very curious to see. I am actually very curious to see where Candice does go, and do we see her go into a shot at the women's title at somewhere down the line?
I mean, I think anything is possible right now.
Mm-hmm. So once again, we got another end to the match where Jessica Carr had to correct who the legal person was in the ring.
Well, at least the referee is aware.
Mm-hmm. And right now we're taking a look at the flashback from last week where the Motor City Machine Guns defeated Tama Tonga and Tonga Loa to become the tag team champions. Of course, with the help of Jey Uso.
I mean, as far as the bloodline right for thinking that they can always interfere on everything.
Yep. Pete, she's fastly becoming one of my favorite referees as well. He's saying Jessica's his favorite ref right now.
I mean, they have a lot. I mean, Jessica Carr, yeah. Can't ever forget, I think, the living goat in Charles Robinson.
Who was refereeing the tag match between the Profits and Pretty Deadly earlier tonight.
Yep. Was he doing that one, or did he do the earlier female one? Or with Liv and Tiffany?
Oh, wait.
I think he did Liv and Tiffany.
Yeah. Did you happen to catch the opening promo from that?
So far, that's the only thing I haven't seen.
Okay.
I had to be careful when I had my Smackdown on in my car because, it was nice. I had the phone going, so I was able to hear things. I just wasn't able to watch everything because there was a little bit of company to my right, so I had to make sure that I was playing it safe.
Yeah. Tiffy pretty much in that promo guaranteed that she's cashing in tomorrow.
Yeah, and I still don't think she will.
Mm-hmm.
I really don't think she will. I think it's all a giant tease. I did like the announcement Triple H made today in regards to the Crown Jewel Championships and saying that the Crown Jewel Championships will always stay in Saudi Arabia in that little area that they do have, but the winners will receive a Crown Jewel ring that they get to keep, kind of like a Super Bowl ring, and every year a new one will be handed out to the winners. So I think that's a pretty cool little thing. Now, I know there's a lot of people wondering what's the whole point of this. I think it's just an annual thing. And obviously, Triple H basically said it's to see which champion is superior.
Yeah.
So
it's just, it's more for bragging rights, really.
It is, but at the same time, it's also to say, hey, we want to know who's the best between what champion. This is the only time we get to actually find out now. Because for the most part of the year, those champions are separate from each other.
Yep.
From most physical contact. So, yeah. Now we have an event once a year that is designed to find out who is better between the two. The only thing I would ask is to add the tag team and the mid-card titles to it. And we get champion versus champions across the show. I also want to add hello to everyone who is joining on my X and my Twitch account as they're at it.
Yay.
I wanted to add my Instagram, but I have to do it on this computer, and, well, that can't be a thing right now. Plus, that's like the streaming key thing is so annoying. I will just say that much. But if you're on my Twitch and my X account, please make sure that you are liking this video. You are subscribing to the channel. You're also sharing this out, so you're helping us spread the word that Turnbuckle Studios Smackdown Security Detail is live and ongoing.
Yeah. It feels so different watching wrestling on a bigger screen now, from going from a little 32-inch to a big 48-inch. That's what she said.
Our Chris Best is finally growing up and becoming a man.
Yeah.
He understands now. Bigger can be better. Mm-hmm. You gave that one to me.
Yeah, I did. I will admit to that.
I mean, with the exception of Instagram, SmackDown Security Details pretty much on live throughout all platforms.
Yeah. Oh, and a tribal chief is making his way to the ring.
Mm-hmm. I know that because I could hear your TV.
Yeah.
Oh, that's funny. Also, as we are waiting for the OTC to get to the ring, want to let everybody know now's a good time to go check out affiliationprogram.my.canva.site if you want to be partnered up at the Turnbuckle Affiliation Program. That's right, you. If you want to get into streaming and you want a little bit of a head start and you want to connect with the people here at Turnbuckle Studios, make sure that you check out affiliationprogram.my.canva.site so you can be a part of the Turnbuckle Affiliation Program, just like Chris Bass, just like OMD, just like Bubba Duke, and just like Chris Parrish. Because our channels separately have been growing because we are partnering up, because together we can do better and together we can succeed. So if you want a chance to get your foot in the door, check out that link below. Now, the OTC is not alone. He does have a Jimmy Uso by his side. Now, I'm not going to lie. I thought this was going to be the kind of the last thing we saw. So I'm actually quite happy that it's not. And then they put this in the middle.
Mm-hmm.
So we have a chance to enjoy kind of other things, because I'm not gonna lie, as invested I am with this story, it's also nice to see that it's not always the number one story.
Right.
It's nice to have that little bit of something else once in a while.
Yeah, this to me basically solidifies that Imperium versus Cody and Randy is the main event tonight.
Yeah. So, as we kind of gear towards Crown Jewel, what match are you looking most forward to?
That's a tough question, because I've actually been going back and forth on the matches I'm looking forward to. The 6-man tag I'm very much looking forward to, because I'm very curious as to which 3 members of Solo's bloodline we're going to see in that match.
I honestly think the fact that we're hearing Solo's bloodline being a common thing being said, I like to. I'm going to assume it could be the Tongans and Jacob Fatu.
That's where I'm leaning towards too, because I think you want to build to Roman finally getting his hands on Solo. You know.
Yeah, and it just allows to have that something different too.
Yeah. But I think the Cody Gunther match is going to be interesting as well.
Squash the beef. Squash the beef. Squash the beef. Sometimes I just want Jimmy to say, Oos, can you just bring your own damn mic?
Right?
It'd be kind of funny. But also, too, like, if I think that's a great line to think or to say to see that if Roman Reigns actually is a little bit more humble towards his family, because he would respect them a little bit more with it and not assume that they're going to do things for him. In fact, they know that they got to do things for each other and then do them together.
I just got to say, you're over when the crowd starts singing your theme song, just like they did for Jay as he made his way to the ring.
Yeah, and when it's also Brooklyn getting a double shot of SmackDown.
Yeah.
And you have to admit that this episode is following what last week's was, which was pretty damn good. So, you know, a little on the...
Yeah. The Brooklyn crowd is usually a fire, so...
The Brooklyn New Yeet right now.
Yeah.
At this point, I'm wondering who's more popular, Jay or Roman?
That's a tough one. I gotta say, though, when Jay made his way out to the ring, too, I like that one shot of Roman where he looked like he looked around all confused. He kind of reminded me of Ivan Drago when he's about to fight Apollo Creed in Rocky 4. Because he stands there looking all confused as the lights and all the chicanery going on around him was going off as Apollo Creed made his way to the ring.
Probably not one for the theatrics. I would assume Drago was, but Roman, on the other hand, I mean, come on. Very emotional promo we're getting out of Jey Uso right now. Yeet.
We're gonna do.
Although he's babyface, Roman's facial reactions definitely scream monster heel still.
Yeah, I like how he's he was kind of he was kind of keeping his guard up, I guess you could say, because I mean, for the last 2 weeks, he was uncertain about Jey Uso joining the squad.
Roman said he.
That's all he needed to say, and the crowd just exploded. So now all that's left is to find out where Sami Zayn fits in with all of this now.
Well, I also have this to say. Do you know what the original bloodline really was? Because it wasn't with Sami Zayn. The original bloodline was the three here, but it was with one more person. That one person happens to be the world champion of AEW.
This is true.
If by chance, and that is a strong if that was to ever happen, holy crap.
I've never actually put it past Jon Moxley to come back to the WWE at some point.
Alex Shelley kind of strikes me as a little odd since he's been in WWE.
Yeah, I'm not sure what it is, but I think maybe there's still a bit of surrealism seeing the Motor City Machine Guns for me in a WWE ring.
I'm wondering if the wellness testing is just really relaxed now in WWE.
Well, I do know that they did take off a few things that they don't check for now when they do the wellness checks.
Yeah. I'm just saying. Don't shoot the messenger.
Yeah.
It's just a theory. Who else have we just saw on our TVs? Is there any part of you that thinks we are in for a big shock at Crown Jewel?
I'm really not sure because, I mean, we're still waiting for Hikuleo to show up at some point, right? Does he show up in that 6-man tag? Or does he go to NXT like everybody's suspecting is going to happen?
It all depends on I don't know. It really is going to be very interesting to see kind of what the plans are.
Mm-hmm.
So all I know is that if by chance we are in for a big surprise, I don't know if it's necessarily needed to be in the Bloodline versus Bloodline match. I think it's expected that it's in that match. But again, I put out the thought earlier of if Apollo Crews is the heater for Carmelo Hayes, does he get involved and help him win the championship? Do we see something happen in one of the other matches? And that's kind of where I'm looking at. Do we see Tiffany Stratton cash in? If so, are we going to be surprised if she cashes in on Liv? Or do we think that it is going to be Nia that she cashes in on? The one thing I will say is that we now know that Rhea Ripley's out of action for a bit of time. We know that Becky Lynch isn't expected back anytime soon, but she is expected most likely to be back with WWE. Now, I think it could be worth the while to have Liv Morgan be the one who's cashed in on. And that way you're bringing a potential babyface to Raw, who then could be someone that ignites a fresh feud for that women's championship on Raw up until the Royal Rumble, where we know everything changes by then.
Yeah. And I'm expecting Rhea to be back around then. I don't know if she wins the Women's Rumble to get another shot. Because I know that when they bring Rhea back, they're going to reignite the feud with Liv because she's going to want to destroy Liv.
Unless she wants to go after Raquel. And I think that's something a lot of people maybe looking at it in the sense of like she might have to go through Raquel to get back to Liv now.
Yeah.
So I don't know, like I'm very intrigued by kind of what they're doing, but I think too, like, do we see anybody debut? Do we see anybody return? Could we see Alexa Bliss? Could we see Carmella? Could we see somebody on the men's roster like a CM Punk or Drew McIntyre? Yes, I know there's been a lot of reports saying CM Punk isn't going to be in Saudi Arabia, but I mean, people have put out things before and they don't necessarily happen. It's the WWE. We can't really throw anything out just because we have a thought or we heard something a couple weeks ago. You just never know.
And it's actually funny that you mentioned Becky Lynch earlier today, earlier there, because earlier tonight, Liv Morgan pointed out that she was the one who retired Becky Lynch, and it just got me thinking that maybe because of Rhea's injury, they may just hotshot her return and just put her in that feud with Liv after Saturday. So, and they've done that before. So
yeah. I'm not jealous of the referee in this match. He has a task.
Oh, yeah. All four of these women hungry to become women's tag team champions. Three of them are hungry to become that. One of them would like to retain. And this is just a preview of what we're going to be seeing in tomorrow's Fatal 4-Way Women's Tag Title match.
Yeah, because tomorrow at Crown Jewel, we will see the partners of everyone in the ring battle it out for those WWE Women's Tag Team Championships in a Fatal 4-Way match in the tag variety.
And once again, I'm glad to see that the women's tag titles are actually getting featured on a PLE.
Yeah, and I think it adds to the show, like the card too, because yes, I know we're getting one women's match in Nia Jax versus Liv Morgan, but at the same time, there are 3 championships for the women on the shows. So it's nice to see kind of that. With the exception of the Intercontinental Championship, all championships are being displayed at Crown Jewel. Not all of them are on the line, obviously, because we have the 2 main women's and the 2 main men's title in a champion versus champion match. But it's nice to see the representation of champions at Crown Jewel.
Yeah.
So I'm curious to think, could we see a potential segment between Braun Breaker and Goldberg maybe at Crown Jewel?
That's what I'm hoping for, because, I mean, the rumor mill going around right now is that it could very well be Goldberg and Braun at Mania. So,
well, I'm hearing a lot of different things. I personally would still do John Cena versus Braun Breaker. Just saying.
mm-hmm.
And yes, it would be for that Intercontinental Championship.
Yeah, and I wouldn't be too opposed either if you did Goldberg and Braun at Saturday night's main event, because to get those shows off the road, off the ground, you probably should use at least a couple of big stars for your first Saturday night's main event, you know?
Yeah, but I just don't think you need Goldberg. Like, I'm gonna be the one. I'm gonna be flat out honest. I don't think you necessarily need Goldberg. If you want to give him that one last match, sure. But I don't think it needs to be like, I would do it at a Saudi show just because it's something you can build around. It doesn't take away from necessarily anything. There are people that don't want to. They choose not to participate in the show, and you can use that as your option in case, like the break glass in case of emergency kind of a situation.
Right.
For Saturday night's main event, you got guys like Drew McIntyre. You got guys like CM Punk to add to that. You have Randy Orton, Cody Rhodes. You have Gunther. You have Damian Priest. You have the Bloodline. You have the OG Bloodline. You have so many other people that you can use for that. And then, again, you could use Shawn Michaels and Triple H, NXT, and all that stuff. So I don't know if you really need, per se, the big names. I would love it if WWE stops doing nostalgic acts just for the sake of nostalgic acts, because that is not how we make future stars.
Yeah, and to be fair, I mean, on this first Saturday night's main event, Jesse Ventura is going to be there. I think that's more than enough for a nostalgia act.
Well, he's going to be on announcing, so that's going to be fun. And like, that's going to be something to plus. You know, I don't want to confuse them with too many uncertainties.
Yeah. Plus, Goldberg really doesn't have a history with Saturday night's main event, so.
But I mean, a lot of the current realm of superstars don't, right? Like Carmelo Hayes doesn't, but it's a great way to introduce them to Saturday night's main event, right?
Yeah.
That's the beauty, I think, of what we're going to see is introducing something old. The nostalgia is Saturday night's main event, but how do we bring that to the modern day WWE? And that is by showcasing the modern day superstars, men and women on it, not bringing the people from the past. Now, could you use them in ways that make sense? Absolutely. I just don't think it needs to be in the ring in a physical match.
Yeah, like maybe for one Saturday night's main event, they can bring Hulk Hogan in to be a host or something like that, and that's about it, you know?
Again, I think you might want to kind of try to maybe steer towards maybe a little bit more of what the fans actually want.
Yeah.
I personally, if I was going to use anybody from that past, and I'm going to go there, I think I would just use what you have. You have a bunch of that. You have the Jesse Venturas, you have the Triple H, you have the Shawn Michaels, you have the Attitude Era people. Maybe you bring in Mark Henry. Maybe you bring in somebody a little, maybe just a little bit more within the last 20 years.
Yeah.
Not that I'm saying Hogan hasn't done anything in 20 years. Just saying. I mean, the guy's like almost 70, seriously, and nobody likes him anymore. So why?
Yeah, I mean, a lot of the stuff he's been saying lately is just a little, you know.
No, because I don't listen to them because I don't care, and I think that is a lot of thing. I feel a lot of people share that feeling. What I do care about is seeing Lash Legend shine in this fatal four-way. Piper Niven looking like a monster, not necessarily the smartest of all monsters as she does that senton and celebrates while Lash Legend takes the pin behind her. Good little comedy spot, but that's
But again, I'm still noticing with Lash Legend, it's a lot of wasted movement when she sells. Still,
yeah, but I don't think it's as much.
no, it's not as
Really?
much as like when she first came up to the main roster. But
I think what we're seeing is definite nerves. I think what we're definitely seeing is habits, right? And I think the more time, I'm going to be actually real. Like, I'm not the world's biggest Lash Legends fan, but given what I've seen of her lately, just give her more experience, and I think she'll be just fine. She doesn't look out of place. She hasn't made any major hiccups. I think one of the big things I think she can work on is understanding that she is just larger than a lot of her opponents, and how to protect her image a little bit more inside the ring.
And what I do like about this match for Lash Legend is the fact that she's in the ring with women who have already put quite a number of years experience under their belt, so she's through these three women, she's going to learn,
I think that one spot that we just saw showcases the importance of Lash Legend in this matchup, because your towers that are Piper Niven and Lash Legend, which are the two biggest competitors in this match.
Right.
Your high flyer is the one that does the spectacle move. And Bianca Belair, when was the last time you saw Bianca Belair be the one that takes that big bump? When does Bianca Belair be the one that's always getting that sympathetic, like she's bumping just to get that sympathy? You don't see that a lot out of her, nor has she really ever been put in that scenario. Now she is. And that is what I think of the beauty of this tag team with Jade Cargill is, and the match here, is she's not needed to be that big, powerful workhorse and that just monster in this match, because there's other people for that role. So now we're seeing her in a different light. I'm liking what we're seeing.
I was going to say, it's actually not often that you really see Bianca taking those big bumps. Like that Tower of Doom. Well, the crowd really started perking up at that.
Just so a peace of mind, where exactly are you right now?
Oh, Jade Cargill got in the ring and had a stare down with Lash.
Okay. We're pretty much in the same spot.
I just got the finish, so.
Yeah. No, I did too. But the one thing I do want to see Jade Cargill do a lot less is her taunts. I think that's something of. I think she just does the taunts a little too much.
Yeah, like the only time I think it really made sense was when she came up behind. I think it was Jakara Jackson. She came up behind it, and she was doing that crouch down, and she was like doing the "come here, I'm gonna give you the big boot" thing. That made sense to do it then.
But to do the stare down in the ring and for her to do that taunt, it's like, I don't know. I just didn't buy it.
Mm-hmm.
But I would have loved more of just that simple, let's just get in the face and then make the people want to see that, like, want to see that big hit. And then before we have a chance, like, have her go for that swing. But when she goes for the swing, that's when you have the others pull her out.
Yeah.
And then it's like, oh my God, like, I didn't know I wanted Lash larger than Jade Cargill. Until you saw it. But no, I mean, I thought that was a great ending. And you kind of protected the two bigger stars in that, in Piper Niven and Bianca. And IYO, who's, the last one out of that whole thing to hold a world title, gets the win.
Yeah, and it makes I mean, all four women still came out strong in that match. But now you've got Damage Control going in with a victory over the other teams, or the other women.
That was a very interesting backstage segment. How much would you think is this beef between Randy and Kevin Owens? How much do you think it's real? And could it be a ploy just for the two to get at Cody Rhodes' championship?
I don't know. You might be onto something, because I've said it before, and I'll say it again. But Randy Orton, most of the time, is not to be trusted as far as tag teams go. I mean, KO earlier in the night cut a promo and said I saw it.
I saw it.
Yeah,
the only thing I didn't see was anything prior to the Liv Nia match, but Corey Grace did a really good job of kind of explaining during the match what really went down, actually.
Yeah.
But it'd be I wonder what would happen if Kevin Owens fails to show up to Saudi. They do that. How much heat do you think he gets?
You'd have one pissed off Randy Orton, because Randy wants to kill him, for one thing.
But how amazing would that be if what that did was just piss off Randy so much that now all of a sudden he just needs to strike, but he may not know who he strikes to. You get maybe Kaiser get involved in the champion versus champion match. You have Randy Orton get in there, and maybe he helps Cody with the win. But then as Cody raises that championship, Randy's looking at the other one, and then he snaps and turns on Cody Rhodes, and that is how we end Crown Jewel.
I mean, it gives something for Cody to do at War Games, because
I think it gives you a potential triple threat at War Games.
Yeah.
Because the one thing we do know with Randy Orton is that if you intentionally piss him off, he explodes.
Yeah.
And no one is safe.
This is true.
And when he's that emotionally angered, he's not always thinking the most clear. So, I'm wondering if we could see Randy Orton be as if Randy Orton might turn on Cody tomorrow night. And I could say tomorrow night because it's tomorrow night in Saudi time. So,
yeah.
But for us, it won't be.
No, it'll be in the morning for you and the afternoon for me.
No, it'll be in the afternoon when probably that match is on.
Oh, well, yeah.
It starts at 11 my time.
Oh, yeah, definitely then, because I get a feeling it's either going to be the Cody and Gunther match that ends the show or the Bloodline.
It's gonna be Cody and Gunther. I can almost guarantee that they are not gonna let Bloodline versus Bloodline main event over champion versus champion.
Yeah.
I think that would be very foolish of WWE.
Yeah.
Now, I do want to kind of get into the betting odds. If you are someone that likes to bet on WWE PLEs, we are getting a promo for the Triple Threat United States Championship. As it stands right now, Andrade is the favorite. He's the one with the minus but in front of his number. So are we looking at a potential Andrade as your next United States champion?
I think it's interesting, but I'm going to say yes, provided that he doesn't continue feuding with Carmelo over the title. And we know that that's probably what's going to happen anyways.
Well, what happens if Game 7 between Carmelo and Andrade is actually just a one-on-one match for the U.S. title?
I think I might be okay with that then. Because then that's where you could have, because you mentioned Apollo Crews being the heater for Carmelo. It's where we could have Apollo Crews show up and cost Andrade the title, thus putting the belt on Melo.
It would be very... My thing, though, is that if you see Apollo in there, do you add LA Knight and Andrade together then? Or what do you do? Because Andrade would then have to find someone.
Yeah, and that's the other thing, too, is I know LA Knight would want a rematch against whoever takes the belt off.
I think that's something you can do on SmackDown, though. I don't think that necessarily needs a PLE build. I think that's something you can definitely make on just on an episode of SmackDown.
Right.
Like, not like the next one, but you can definitely say, okay, we come back, say next week, LA Knight wants his rematch, whatever. They announce it for the week after, and then, or maybe in 2 weeks, and then you build to it. And to your chagrin, we did not see any Giovanni Vinci Imperium crossing.
And I'm actually okay with that.
Now, I think I can solve this number one contendership for Gunther's championship.
Okay.
Because Dominic's win over Damian Priest allows him to have that number one contendership match, right?
Right.
Well, Adam Pearce could say, yeah, due to all that stuff that happened last week, yes, you are in the number one contenders match. However, the match is against someone who I believe earned that right to be a number one contender, and that man is the one who won a Hell in a Cell match against Drew McIntyre. I think this would be a great way to set up CM Punk versus Dom Mysterio in a number one contendership match, with CM Punk defeating Dom and becoming the number one contendership for War Games.
And honestly, that's a match I really would like to see. I do want to see that. I wanted to see it last year when Dom and Punk did the holiday tour. So,
and then I'd even think about maybe doing Drew and Damian.
Yeah.
Because it is only 1 year out to where Drew did Damian the favor in becoming a partner with the Judgment Day. And it was Damian who Drew had the issue with. So, if we want to bring things a little bit more full circle, we can revisit that past. Now, a lot of the phrases being used is that it's not WWE is releasing anyone. It is saying so-and-so is departing WWE.
Mm-hmm.
So this may sound like it is, and Sean Ross Sapp of Fightful did say Tegan Knox is departing WWE and will be effective a free agent in 90 days. So this either is a mutual or it's releasing knowing that they're not going to re-sign.
Yeah.
Because I don't think they will give you the 90 days if your contract isn't, if a contract runs out.
No, because I believe in Baron's case, he's free to go and do what he wants now. So
Yeah, the only time I think that's the only thing is if injury time was added to the contract and they say, well, I don't plan on re-signing, so they just release out and for anybody is interested in it, yes, WWE still pays the talent in those 90 days. They're just not allowed to compete anywhere else or go on television or anything like that.
yeah, because in those 90 days, the WWE has that option to reverse their decision and bring the wrestler back.
Now, that person is allowed to still wrestle. They're just not allowed to appear on television. There are just limitations that they're allowed to do. So it's not like they always have to sit home. There are loopholes around this.
Yeah, like I remember, I think it was Jinder Mahal, I believe it was. It wasn't even like a month and a half after he was let go, where I saw that he was taking bookings. However, those bookings were for dates that were well past the 90 days.
Yeah, I mean, that stuff, you're not breaking any laws. You're not doing anything. Anything wrong. Now, I do believe, though, because I remember a situation where the person formerly known as DH Smith, but
yeah,
Harry Smith, he did do independent shows, non-televised shows, during his 90 days because the provision allowed him not to be on television and to be broadcasted or promoted by anybody else. But there were ways around it to where he could accept bookings as long as, they're not put on, platforms or stuff like that. So that could just be a situational thing, but I'm very curious to see if that's something of note. In fact, that'd be something if I would ever want to ask somebody like Triple H is if they could share a little bit more information on what a talent is allowed to do opposed to not allowed to do within those 90 days.
And I get a feeling we're going to get some of those questions at tomorrow's press conference after the show.
Maybe. I do think that the show itself would take probably more.
Yeah, but we always get that one reporter who tries to push the envelope a little bit.
Not as much on WWE press conferences. In AEW, sure. There's always some weird ass questions asked there, but with WWE, they're more a little bit of a straight line through. Now we do definitely hear the occasional thing that are just like, why? But
yeah, I'm referencing the one reporter from I believe it was last month's press conference there, or the press conference for Bad Blood there.
And what was asked again?
Why there wasn't any African American wrestlers on the card.
I mean, to be fair, I think people are allowed to think that. I mean, it is something of, hey, even if it's just it just wasn't it just didn't work out. But like it wasn't necessarily a thing that made sense for the show. But like, I don't know. I mean, I'm not a black person, so I can't really give you an answer of how to feel. But like,
yeah,
I can tell you as a white person, I'm kind of interested in why we're not seeing a little bit more black people being represented, especially when I'm seeing guys like Bobby Lashley, who I thought is nothing but a heavyweight championship material type of talent, just let go. And like, you see what he can be in AEW, and I think that was a massive W for AEW.
I will agree to that, actually.
As we go to what appears to be the last commercial break of the cast, I'm going to say this is a great time to let everybody know what Turnbuckle Studios has going on.
Turnbuckle Studios and the Turnbuckle Affiliation Program bring you the week of streams. All times are in Eastern Time. Monday nights you get the Locker Room Breakdown at 7 p.m., followed by the Raw Patrol at 8 p.m. Tuesday brings you the flagship show, Turnbuckle Talk, at 8:05 p.m. Wednesday we play games with the PlayStation Showcase at 8 p.m. Thursday we get a variety stream with the Boar's Nest at 8 p.m. Friday we game again with Unleashed, the Jessica Wilde story at 7 p.m. Following the game, join us for the Smackdown Security Detail at 8 p.m. The weekend brings you Saturday Night Gaming at 8 p.m. On Sunday be sure to catch the Chris Parrish podcast at 12:15 p.m. Be part of the shows and join the chat every day.
Lots of fantastic stuff we're doing right now.
Yeah, so by that calendar, make sure you're checking out tomorrow's Saturday Night's Gaming with the person over here. Chris Best, what is on tap? See what I did there? For tomorrow.
Yeah, with me being frozen again. I got to clean this computer before tomorrow's show.
Yeah. Get rid of all that, stuff.
Yep. Get rid of that stuff that's meant for 18 plus.
What's on tap for tomorrow, Chris?
We've got more of The Last of Us Part 2. Last I left off, we managed to escape the TV station after finding one of the people who killed Ellie's surrogate father.
All right. So we are back, and we have that SmackDown. We're back from the commercial, and we see Cody Rhodes in control right now against Ludwig Kaiser. Yes, the main event match is Cody Rhodes and Randy Orton taking on Gunther and Ludwig Kaiser of Imperium. If you guys are in the chat, let us know your thoughts right now of SmackDown. Let us know your thoughts on the show. And if by chance you haven't, make sure you like, follow, subscribe to the channel that you are watching. And if plausible, share out that link so you can alert other people that we are live with the Smackdown Security Detail.
Now, I got to ask you this. Do you think that this match should have happened at all? There's a part of me that says no, because I really wanted the build for Gunther and Cody to be a little bit on the non-physical side until their match.
You know what? I don't hate it. I think it's old school booking, to be quite honest, because sometimes you will get that tag team match, and maybe you see Gunther get a pin on Cody. Maybe you see Cody get that pin on Gunther, and you kind of have that foreshadow of what could happen at that, upcoming now PLE, back then pay-per-view. And it makes you a little bit more intrigued to their match. As long as we don't get 20 minutes of Gunther and Cody in this tag match, I'm okay with it, because we're just getting a little bit of a taste of what could happen. And I think that just helps further gives us that, I need to see this match. And if it's the main event, if it's champion versus champion, yeah, these guys should be, putting in that work and giving us everything we want in the build-up. Because now, after seeing these guys, compete for just a little bit, you want to see what they actually will do now tomorrow, right?
Yeah. As I said that, I kind of thought about my statement earlier with the Fatal 4-Way Women's match. This is also just a little bit of a preview for Cody and Gunther. It's kind of like, getting the appetizer before the meal,
I think it's, taking a sample size and saying, yes, I will order that. And then being very excited for, that main course, because you know how good it is. What you just don't know is just how absolutely amazing the whole thing is. So you're getting that little sample of what you could see. And I think that's okay. I think it's healthy. And, why not? You got Cody Rhodes, your world champion on SmackDown, out there being that workhorse champion. We're getting to showcase Ludwig Kaiser a little bit. You have Randy Orton there. And then you have the world heavyweight champion in Gunther. And the X Factor, Kevin Owens. Does he show up? Is he going to do something? What can happen? Because I think right now, when we don't see Kevin Owens and we do see Cody and Randy, you got to think Kevin Owens is lurking somewhere around ringside. Not to mention, nobody said there has to be a winner in this match. So,
yeah. Okay, I liked what Randy Orton just did there.
Yeah.
Now, of course, in this match, Randy's obviously going to want to get a little bit of revenge over Gunther, especially for his 2 recent losses to him.
I don't think it's necessarily revenge. I think it's just more he has something to prove.
Mm-hmm.
Because he got beat straight up. Randy can't blame anybody but himself in that match. It's not like he got screwed. It's not like he got the short end of the straw here. He lost straight up to Gunther. And the one thing I think he wants to do is prove that, a win over him, he beats a world champion. Yeah. That says something about what Randy Orton can do next. And then it goes back to your backstage segment with Cody Rhodes that if he does do something that he may or may not regret to Kevin Owens to where he's out of the picture, what does Cody Rhodes do? Well, I think he just made that choice a little bit easier. Yeah. And he might provide the topic for Cody's question of what he want to talk about.
And there's the finish there. I'm actually glad that Gunther did not take the pinfall in that one.
Yeah, and I don't think it was ever expected to.
Mm-hmm. But no, this match did exactly just as you said it would. It left...
Yeah.
It's just one of those moments where don't change the channel once the credits start to roll.
Well, I mean, if you haven't been able to figure that out about Triple H by now, I don't know what to tell you.
No, it's literally for me these days, especially with Hunter, it's wait till the fade to black happens.
Yeah. And what we did see was Kevin Owens, that X Factor, as I pointed out earlier, come into play after the match, hit Kevin Owens with that chair. But before Cody can do anything, he was met by a rear naked choke by Gunther, who he takes down. It's really of note to see that Cody Rhodes and Kevin Owens did not do anything to Randy Orton or to each other. And it was only Randy Orton that Kevin Owens touched. He didn't even touch Cody. He didn't look like he wanted to. So I think there's maybe more to talk about in that than we think.
Yeah, and I think I get a feeling that maybe in tomorrow's pre-show we'll get an answer out of KO. It's one of those things again where we're just when we think we got all the questions answered, WWE changes the question.
You said that so wrong.
I know I did.
Just when you think you know the answer, WWE goes in and changes the question. That's how it's said.
Yeah.
But I don't even think it's just that. It's just where I think it's more just where you think you know where we're going. There is a detour and an unexpected detour, and you have to take a sharp turn. Your destination might still be the same, but you have to go another route now.
Yeah.
Damn GPS. But at the same time, there's going to be something along the way to see, and just keep your eyes open.
Yeah, but overall, what did you think of this show as a whole? I thought it was a pretty entertaining show. A good way to go out before the PLE.
Yeah, it was your typical go home show.
Mm-hmm.
There wasn't anything of. I mean, the only thing to really talk is that we do have a unity with Jay, Jimmy, and Roman. Roman said yeet. What have I been saying for this whole time is that as soon as Roman says yeet, Jay will be alongside of Roman.
Yeah.
And that is true. But I mean, outside of that, we were just getting more and more build to the matches tomorrow at Crown Jewel. More build. We got a little bit of a taste of what Gunther and Cody is going to be. We're getting a little bit of a taste of what Kevin Owens and Randy will be. We're getting a little bit of a taste of what Nia and Liv can be. And then also now the X Factor of Tiffany Stratton. She says she plans on cashing in. Does that actually happen, or is this just a no, I got you moment? Who's to know? This is why we have to tune into Crown Jewel tomorrow. Also, who's going to come out as your WWE Women's Tag Team Champions? We saw IYO Sky pick up the win over Lash and Legend in the Fatal 4-Way Singular match. Does Damage Control repeat that performance and walk away with the titles? Do we see a retention? Do we see Lash Legend and Jakara Jackson shock the world? Or do we see Piper Niven and Hardgirl Chelsea Green walk away with those straps? Again, this is why you tune in.
Yep. So I'm so glad you still said that, even though Samantha Irvin's no longer employed with the WWE.
Yeah, well, Chelsea, if you need somebody, hey, Christian once had waterproof blonde do his theme. It was always nice to get the opposite gender, right, to do something. If you need someone to help you out, a good Canadian boy has got you.
Yeah, and one of the things I was going to say, this is probably the first go-home show I've seen where they weren't looking past the PLE. I mean, they might have been with the whole Cody Rhodes KO and Randy Orton situation towards the end of the show, but I'm kind of glad that they didn't look past the PLE, you know, for a lot of the things that happened on the show tonight.
I mean, in a way they did, with Motor City Machine Guns appearing on Grayson Waller's talk show next week. So there is something still to look forward to. So we do have that. Also, we know that somebody is not going to get pinned in that triple threat match for the U.S. title. So does that person have a beef to claim next week? If Carmelo Hayes does not get pinned, does Carmelo Hayes come out bitching about not being pinned and then saying, I want my shot?
Right.
Nobody beat me for it, so I'm good. It's like, you got beat, so you're out. I want you, that whoever the champion. So, and then we see what's next for Cody Rhodes. I think that's really what it is. And then the fallout of what would happen between Bloodline and Bloodline. We all know it ain't going to be the finale here, but what happens?
And that's all stuff that we could possibly find out tomorrow. But on that note, I think it's time we hand out our socials there, Mr. Parrish, unless you got something else to say.
Nothing of intellect. So yeah, let's hand out the socials.
All right. Where can the people look for you?
On screen right now, because right now you can't really look at me at Twitter. You can just see my tweets. You can see what I post. You can see what I repost. But if you're on that X account, aka Twitter, then yeah, hey, thanks for tuning in. But tune in this Sunday along with the people that are on my Facebook, my Instagram, my YouTube, and my Twitch. All that, because every Sunday at 12:15 p.m. Eastern Time, the Chris Parrish podcast is on, and you don't want to miss this episode. It's going to have some fun. We're going to talk a little bit about what we saw at Crown Jewel. We're going to talk a little bit more about depth in who I think has been an absolute silver lining of WWE this year so far. We are now 10 months into 2024, 2 months left, less than 60 days as of Sunday of the year. So who do I think right now is that silver lining? Maybe, just maybe, I might even have a little bit of news about where you can get the 2024 version of the Chris Parrish Slammies, which will be coming back. And then also make sure you're checking in on the Chris Parrish socials, because I do have an interview with Edmonton Pro Wrestler Kamikaze, and that interview will drop sometime next week. So make sure you're checking out those socials for more and additional information. And then if by chance you thought that was a lot, you're out of energy, go to rogueenergy.com. Use the promo code Parrish at checkout, PERISH. You save 10%. I get some royalties. It's a win-win.
All right. And you guys can find me at my Linktree, linktr.ee/Chris_best83, where you can see this ugly mug. Next is tomorrow night, 8 p.m. Eastern, for some Saturday Night Gaming, where, of course, I'm going to be continuing on the adventures of Ellie and company for The Last of Us Part 2. And I don't remember those words that OMD likes to go out on, but I do know that Carl likes to say, the world's a scary place, everybody. Take care of each other.
Be happy, be you, because if you're not, you are not doing yourself enough service.
And on that note, have a good night, everyone.
I'll be there when you're down, when you're losing your crown, till the afterglow, the afterglow. so great when you gotta shine. One more thought of you is gone now, as you keep smiling at the crowd. Pressure is your best enemy, spotlights show what I wanna see. Sometimes it feels like you're under attack, you just can't break free. I'll be there when you're down, when you're losing your crown, till the afterglow, the afterglow. I'll be there when you fall, when you're losing it all, in the afterglow, in the afterglow. Whoa! It all started with the passion, it all sounded like a dream. Remember